the year 1945, my great-great-grandfather, serving in the army, wondered when he'd get to go home to his wife and the son he'd never seen. He got his wish when the U.S. ended World War II by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world awaited Armageddon. Instead, something miraculous happened. We began to use atomic energy not as a weapon, but as a nearly limitless source of power. People enjoyed luxuries once thought the realm of science fiction. Domestic robots, fusion-powered cars, portable computers. But then, in the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years of consumption led to shortages of every major resource. The entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. It is now the year 2077. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself, for my wife, for my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes.
Dang. That's crazy. There's a lot of stuff to go through. I'll be back. All right, guys. We went with this preset. This is a preset. Well, the tattoos are not, but everything else is. So we just went with that. We're gonna go ahead and confirm. All right. This is a very interesting thing here, but yeah. All right. Yeah. The most unlucky, the most unagile, most rigid, I guess. Um, non-perceptive and fragile player ever created. All right, so it's gonna start us with that. We're gonna go army. We're actually gonna go officer this time, captain, um, military police, close combat, expect, marksman. We never claimed that we, and then rangers. All right. We're going to go medium deployments. So we know that's level 15. So you can see that pulls us right here, right out of the vault. So we're going to have to quickly do some stuff here. All right, SKK, fast start location. Can start you at a different Commonwealth location? No thanks. We're fine here. Right? We could pick a different one, but I mean, I could, in all honesty, part of me wants to go random because that you don't know where you're gonna start. But the other part of me is like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work because you don't know where you're gonna end up. You don't know what you're gonna have on you, and then you just don't know. So no thanks. All right, now let's move around. Just make sure we got what we got. I don't like that. You see that? I don't like the way that looks. All right, so X12 leveled list distribution. All right, don't really give a gosh darn, but okay. Excuse me. Let's see. Starts Famas quest when player reaches level 25. Well, we're not there yet. Okay. Okay. All right. So that you can see there's a bunch of stuff starting up. Since this is Anomaly, I'm expecting quite a bit of stuff to happen here. So this is us, right? I really hate this camera. I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate this camera. Second, I really hate whatever's going on here with the traps here. What in the world? But we'll be wearing clothes, so it doesn't matter. But there we are. All right. As you can see, I'm just running around here trying to let stuff load in. And then we have to run a configuration. So when I do that, I'm going to pause and it will come back after it's done. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was ensure, that a lot of stuff had loaded in before we start actually looting. Now, problem is me, I can't help but loot. So I'm always looking for stuff to loot. All right, so we do have a weapon. And we have 54 total rounds. So I'm not overly upset by that. I don't like where it is, but what's this? Okay. And then, in truth, we don't need that. But these are things we'll set up here once all this is done. We have our Pip-Boy. So we got to tag 3 skills. I always tag survival as one. Weaponry is going to be the other. And probably tinkering. Okay, look, see, gunsmithery, engineering. Hold on a sec. God. Yeah, my voice just doesn't love it, hates me. All right, so let's actually survival. I gotta be honest with you. We need to look at all right. So science is one. Robustness is another, and then medicine, hacking, See now, gunsmithery. Engineering your strength, your mastery over massive, intricate machinery. We will take that one. I think we already took one already that I might have to remove. And let's see the impact of your hits. Tinkering, working in an anvil, and I am going to take that. I want to take survival, but in truth, I'm going to stick with. So, tinkering is the only one that we took out of pocket, right? And that's because you know me. I craft like you won't believe. And we're going to work on endurance to get that up. Um, so now we got two traits. So, as you know, you're amazing at gathering useful materials and household wares, but terrible at managing them. You start with all components, but your max carry weight is permanently lowered by 25. I don't know. Okay, maybe you used to assist a mad scientist, but your max carry weight increases. We move 15% slower. I might not be mad at that one. Um, vertically, you won't be doing any slam dunks, but you don't stealth skill by so it raises your stealth skill by 25, which is boosted further while sneaking. Brains over brawn, no brawn over brains, introvert. All right, so here's what I'm looking at: the Hunchback of Boston. Oh God. And then you see what's happening here. If you look at the combination, so the Garage Guru means I gather all the materials, right? But then I take a hit of 25. But then the Hunchback says you move 15% slower. So what? But your max carry weight increases by 50. So right there, what we're talking about is a net gain of 25. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we take a hit, but then we get it all back plus some. So the only other thing that I like is Four Eyes. Well, okay, wait. Okay, so you gain a flat plus 10 skill points per level, unaltered by your intellect, but naturally gain plus. All right, so no. All right, Big Chungus. All right, so let's do this. All right, we're compulsive hoarder instead of the hunchback. So our sell prices are penalized, not our speed, right? Okay. I mean, technically, and in the Garage Guru, you're amazing at gathering useful materials and household wares, but terrible at managing them. You start with all components, but your max carry weight is permanently lowered. All right. All right. Yes. And then Which one? Which one? Because I mean, we could start with an extra 100 carry weight right off the bat, right? We're a little slower, and we don't get the great sell prices. But we who cares? Who cares with the sell price thing, right? We're hoarders, and we craft everything. The only thing is the garage guru thing, right? Is like I don't. I understand it, but I don't. Right? It's like, are you telling me you're going to give me a whole bunch of stuff to start, or does it mean that when I'm breaking stuff down, I'm getting extra stuff? We're doing it. All right. So, what is our background? Well, we already know what our background is. Discharged soldier. This is it right here. I mean, we could be. Okay. We can either be an escaped convict. Nope. God damn it. Hold on one sec. Fuck. Hold on one sec. All right, so this is the one we're going to choose. We could be a foreign infiltrator too. Attention, soldier. Your map has been marked with old military installations. Check to see if they're still active. Dismissed. God dang it. Oh, actually. Are you serious? Mm-hmm. So you can see right here off the bat, what do we having to do? So right off the bat, we have to like give ourselves some extra stuff just to before we you know what I mean, to make up for I don't if I were to give one huge criticism for this list, the starting of 7 points is just absolutely ridiculous to me. Um One, just because it goes completely against the narrative. We already gone down that road with other mods that change certain things. But 7 points? What in the world are you talking about? What in the world? It just it makes to me it just makes no sense at all. And I think part of that is the premise of the game is that you either starting out as the lawyer or you starting out as the ex-soldier. We are starting out. We are trying to make sure we're starting out as the ex-soldier. So at that point, it's um what in the world? Why would you only you starting out like absolutely weak as can possibly be, right? You 7 points. If you decide to um put that anywhere, that's it, right? And then it just, I guess for me, hold on a sec. It it doesn't seem to me like your character starting out with any of the supposed advantages of being, a veteran or being someone who has been out in the world and has done anything, and you're starting out less than a noob. And then so you start, so piss poor that the question is, how are you supposed to survive in the first place? With no abilities and or basically no skills. And then, so if it wasn't for the TSSMR mod, right, for the Soul Survivor military record mod, we wouldn't have anything here. We'd be starting out just point blank, right? But at least here, it's this mod gives us a chance. And then, so what we do is we are kind of countering the piss poor start. And really, that's how I look at it. I look at it as it's a piss poor starting point, and it's like I full wholeheartedly disagree with how it starts. I'm gonna have to kill my son. He is in the other room, just screaming up a storm. And I keep telling him, I said, dude, we have neighbors, okay? He's playing some video game, so I can't knock him for that because it's not like I'm doing anything different, right? But he's just can't help himself. But then he's also 8. All right, so we're gonna add one more point. I think actually, I don't know what I think weaponry is kind of like hand to hand or All right, let's see. Oh, wait. Did I just undo everything? I think I did. I think I just undid everything. I hit B. Fuck. Okay. All right, so we got to do all that over again. So what's going to happen is I'm going to pause, and you guys kind of saw what I was going with. All right, we're back. And I can't say exactly how glad we are to be back at this point, just from what I'm noticing. One thing that hasn't showed up yet that has got me a little concerned is normally when you come out of the vault, there's a pop up about backpacks of the Commonwealth. Well, one of the first things that I've noticed here, and then I'm going to have to add it in, we haven't gotten to the point where it actually is an issue, but with my style of play, it will soon become an issue real soon here. So it's going to be. So if you're wondering what's happening here, is what I usually throw in is called immersive containers. Again, I have a serious problem when it comes to loot. And one of the things about my issue with loot, it's kind of like an addiction. And the funny thing is, I am like an addict. You can't tell me. You can tell me I have a problem, and I admit I do. And I 100% agree with you. Um, but my thinking on that is because granted, my problem doesn't adversely affect me one bit. I'm 100% on board with looting everything I can find. The problem that we run into, and then watch this, quick save. So I always add that in there. These games crash way too much for saving to be disabled. I don't care what mode you're in. These games are not stable. They crash. You can look right out the window there. You can see the flickering. Okay, the game is not going to be stable. It's the creation kit and the creation engine is flawed. Seriously flawed. And then so you're going to have crashes. So what you need is a way to save the game to prevent from basically if you've been playing for an hour and you haven't gotten to a bed yet in order to save, and then all of a sudden the game crashes on you, you just lost an hour of gameplay. What is cool to me is this. So that is still there. So why did I come back down here? Well, because there's a crap ton of loot in here. Why in the world would you start me outside the vault, just outside the vault? Hey, you don't need to go through the vault, right? So why would you start me out here? Now, granted, I mean, I understand it's going to be dangerous in there, but okay, we need to go and investigate this place. We need to figure out what's so dangerous. I hear. Okay.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
I don't have a knife.
Is this all that's left?
It would seem. Look at this. Ammo right there. As soon as I walk. Oh my goodness. What are you doing to me? You see what I'm saying? I got a laser pistol. Oh, look at this. I have 2 rounds. That's all I got. What the F is going on here? All right, so pistols. Um, this service revolver only has 2 rounds. This one at least has. So let's go ahead and put you there. Return. Do I have energy? I have energy. Okay. I got 11 rounds for that one. Put you there. Rifles. I have an anti-tank rifle that does like 300 damage with 5 rounds in it. All right. Guess what? In case. All right. Let's hope we don't have a need for it. All right. I need the grenades. I need the nades. As a matter of fact, I don't need to actually. Yeah. I don't need to. All right. What we need is to come in here. All right. Pack of cigarettes. Oh, there. Look. I need some ibuprofen right now. My head is killing me. To be honest with you. Adjustable wrench. Nothing ever in that toolbox. Screwdriver, lighter, pencil. Got some more. Ooh, a varmint revolver. How many daggone pistols do we need? All right. Now, I will say this. There was one. I don't know where it was, but obviously it's not this one. Where there was a thing over there. We got to be careful of what we grab. See what our carry weight is. But look at this. 6 stim packs. Purified water. Cigarette. Now, granted, these things aren't normally in here. There was a makeshift axe in here. I'm trying to get to this one right here. I keep missing it. Right there. Nah. I'm not. Cigarettes, graduated cylinder, pre-war Monday. All right. You see, so you start us outside, and you don't know what we got. You don't know what we've done. You don't know where I've been. You don't know the things that I've done.
Come on, come on, come on. Oh, God.
Broham,
I'll find who did this,
look at that.
and I'll get Sean back. I promise.
How many cigarettes have we picked up so far? Look at that. All of that is loot right there. Okay? Now, had you put us outside with all the stuff from in here, there wouldn't be an argument. It wouldn't be a problem. But you put us outside with nothing. With nothing. Oh, see? Look at that. Look at that. Holy cow. How much? I'm going to be waddling soon with so much stuff. All right. Isn't there a... Look at this. Stops heavy bleeds. Security baton. Why'd you give me that? I don't want that. Give me that. Quick clot, injector, bandage, survival pack, bandage, ibuprofen. I need that. I need that. I need all of that. More purified water. Where in the world? Now, the question is, and then here's the thing, was the intent that we were going to go back in? That we were going to come back down? Okay, because right now, yes, all the stuff in the containers, that is from my mod, right? The mod that I added. All the, well, that's one way to make it so that I don't want to go to sleep. It would sure be great if they put in that, A to sleep, X to save, combination wrench, a 13 ball. Did you hear that noise? The pulse, yeah. All right. Okay, there's no bug here. No rad roach here. That's kind of disconcerting. All right. So, again, I'm fine waking up and coming out of the pod. I don't know why it was necessary. Here, let's drink some. Just a couple of drinks. We need to be hydrated. That's probably why my head hurts. I'm dehydrated. Okay, we'll take that. Okay, take that. That lightning is fierce. Okay, I don't see any other rad roaches, but we know there's one in here. Don't shock at me like that. God dang it. Alright. Makeshift mace. Seriously? At some point I gotta actually get more selective as to what I grab. Now, there's our guy. No vats. That's annoying. Alright. Alright, so only... See, these are added. Is he trying to flank me? There he is. About to say, wait a minute. He seriously was trying to come around where I wasn't paying attention. Free war money, cigarette. I don't know how many. We know for a fact there was at least one. And right now, that's all I've seen. That's all I'm seeing is the one. All right, we already got one makeshift axe. And right now, carry weight is a concern. The cigarettes.
Is anyone alive? Did anyone get out?
Did I just take a rolling pin? Cigarette. Pack of cigarettes. All this glue that we would have been passing up. think we are. Yep, we are done. Well, we're not done, but okay. Isn't it a little concerning that there's no rad roaches? Oh, this is another one of those things. The AP drain on sneak. Stupidest thing I ever seen. All right, so the door is open. So let me um let me expand on that real quick here. Reason I say is the stupidest thing I ever seen
Everyone's dead.
is because the calculation is flawed. It's extremely flawed. Um, I will never make the argument that yes, squatting and sneaking around doesn't drain you of stamina because yeah, so that isn't where my problem lies. My problem lies is that is whatever calculation you use. Oh, look, the cryolator is gone. Whatever calculation is being used, it drains way too quickly. So if I have to walk across a room to sneak up on somebody, right? And we all know how sometimes we like to, and I say we, and I'm saying that loosely. I'm talking about those who think that I want to, in order to make something difficult, I need to throw, everything, including the bath water and the kitchen sink at you to to increase the difficulty or make it more challenging. Um, and so what happens is, in some cases, you'll have that AP drain, and then when you get there, you can't attack because all your AP is gone. And then so what do you have to do? You have to sit and let it replenish. Well, guess what? You tell me the last time you were able to go sneak up behind somebody, exhaust yourself completely, and then for them not to notice you breathing heavy behind them. So you tell me when that happened. Okay? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. So for me, it's like, yeah, if you want to use a calculation, then yeah, use one. But the AP drain should be 1/3 normal. So basically, yeah. But it shouldn't be the calculation that you're using to drain the AP is just way too high. So figure it out, lower it, so that when you do get up to somebody, you know what I mean? Unless you're going to sneak across the entire football field to get there, okay, then yeah. But if I'm just sneaking across a room, right? That should be 1/3 the normal AP drain of say sprinting across that room. Maybe not even that high, a quarter. So, you know, figure it out before you incorporate it in there. And then the other argument for me is it's a damn video game. You know what I mean? It's a damn video game. My immersion comes a lot with my imagination and what I'm able to do in the game. So right now, we have one issue. See, right now, VATS is hugely important to me. So you took that away. Oh, I missed. How'd that one miss? Oh, you see it? The big one? There's a big one. Orange. Are you freaking kidding me? I equipped the nades. They're equipped. It was hiding. It was hiding back there. It didn't want to come out. You wait till we go down there and see it. Okay, so what is also bothersome is they could have put a knife. They could have put a knife. There's a knife right there. There's a knife right there. Why am I not able to? You see what I'm saying? This is seriously my issue with some things, right? A hunter of the Commonwealth requires you to it requires a knife. Okay, F you. I got a knife. Why am I just examining these? So I'm not a huge fan of Hunter of the Commonwealth anyway. And then, don't get me wrong, right? But then I'm not a huge fan of any of those Hunter ones. And here, let me explain why. I'm not a huge fan because it gets tedious and tiresome after a while. It is cool right from the beginning. It's like, oh, sweet, cool. And then after the 30th time, it's like, God dang it, I gotta do this again. You know what I mean? And then you get to the point where you're like, I don't feel like doing it. And then you're skipping. You're just killing and skipping and just leaving the stuff because you don't want to go through it. You don't want to go through the whole the tedium anymore. And it's like, well, can I just get rid of it? Part of me wants to go in here, right? And then say F you and then just take it out. There it is right down there. As soon as this thing ever loads. Now, you notice it does say, please do not modify settings below. Now, I am going to reload and basically reinstall cheat terminal. Why? Because they've effed it up. I don't know what they did, but when I ran the mod configuration, it totally took away the main reason I use cheat terminal. So like right now, look at this. It's just we're just sitting here. It's doing nothing. So we'll be back. Okay, so the game wins. Right? The game wins. Look here. Nothing. So I disabled Hunter of the Commonwealth. I don't give a fuck. If like I said, I have a low tolerance level. So once you start showing me stuff that's irritating me, then you gotta go.
Everyone's dead.
It all gotta go. And so you can see all this stuff here. Um, I don't believe there's anything else here. So when we look at it here now, and we can see we have collected quite a bit of stuff, right? And fine, we got extra headwear. I got patrolman sunglasses on. I have a helmet I can get to. This is a cracked, discolored gas mask with no filter. Now, I could have sworn we were required to wear a gas mask in it with this, right? So you can see these are all heavy. I'm not a huge fan of the heavy crap, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I might be able to do something special with this, because so I'm not gonna get rid of it yet, right? So we got, like I said, we got the quick save. You see, we got the cheat terminal portable, but that's it. That's all you got. I don't give these two actually game alterations. I use it one time and one time only, right? Whenever I go into a game, and that ain't even it. So it must be world manipulation. There it is. Whoop, wrong one. And then we go into time scale, and then the one thing I do is I set it to 5 minutes, right? One minute equals 5 minutes. Other than that, that's it. And then, but the most important thing to me, right, is the storage option that Cheat Terminal has. Because why? Because I'm a hoarder. And it has a storage option. So I go into the personal storage, miscellaneous storage, and then everything that once I'm over encumbered, I throw everything in there. So it's like a portable dimensional bag of holding, right? And till I get to wherever I'm going. Now, there is a mod that I can download, which is essentially the same thing. Problem is, when I download it and put it in, I got to come all the way back here to Vault 111, because that's where the chest is. And you have to go to the chest, get the stuff out, and do everything. The other concerning thing here is, you see the holotapes? I don't see a holotape for a backpack of the Commonwealth. Did am I missing it? Settings. Am I missing that? Is it taking forever to load in? Um, I feel like I'm missing it. And here's another thing that they got that I don't really agree with, or it's like, because it's my game. It's my game. Granted, it's your list, but there should be ways to modify, and for me to pick and choose the things in your list that I really truly like, and get rid of the things that I think are crap. And then so, you know, and then again, being the control freak, Lord hoarder that I am, I want 100% autonomy and control of my game, right? So I don't want weight on my ammo. Screw you if you don't agree. just just saying, you don't agree, you don't agree. We can agree to disagree on it. Okay? You want ammo weight? Go ahead, play however how you want. I am never gonna come into your game and tell you how to play your game. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's yours. It's not a multiplayer game. We're not playing together. I don't want to play with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm playing on my own. And then so, yeah, no, I don't want ammo weight. The other thing is, I don't want you screwing up my cheat terminal. And then whatever's going on with the backpack thing, we need to get that resolved quick, because that's another essential. Where is that coming from? All right. So, granted, it's telling me everything is safe. So, I want to assume that it knows what it's talking about. But I'm also assuming that at some point, with Fallout Anomaly, I could have sworn there was a requirement for wearing gas masks. Look at that. That's just trifling. So sometimes you have to just add stuff in to counter overzealousness. There we go. Look, so it's sit and save this time. So you can save right there. Right? So you find a chair and I can sit down and rest my weary bones, or I can save my game. You know what? We've been here an hour and we still haven't gotten this to the sanctuary. I really got to do something about that. I got to be the slowest of the slow when it comes to this game, because you see the rad starting to, you can hear the, or Geigometer, or whatever you want to call it. I forget what it's called. Just doesn't sound right when I say it. It was starting to creep up there a little bit. Now, what I find interesting is that Codsworth, he doesn't really find us when we initially get here. Let's get to the stash. All right. See, so immersive containers adds food and stuff into these plates. So that instead of this, like right here, when you look at this, this is a set piece. This is what I call, or what I refer to as a set piece. And what that means is it's just there for show. It's just there for looks. Nothing else. Right? Because you can't interact with it. You can't pick it up. You can't you can't do anything with it, right? Until you start scrapping. Here, the mod immersive containers basically puts a hitbox here and then changes it into a container, right? And then puts stuff in there. So the same with these cardboard boxes. They were just set pieces before. So you basically, like this is, you see that. And then to me, if we want to talk about immersiveness and all that kind of stuff, nothing breaks my immersion more than walking up to a box, right, that should have loot in there, and for it to not have anything in it. Okay? It's one thing if it's just empty, right? Because of the times it may have been empty, or whoever was there emptied it all out. Okay, that's fine. But, at least it is an actual container, and it's just, see that right there? As soon as I see that, first thing I do is I'm like, uh-oh. See that? Right there. Uh-oh. Tells me a couple of things. One, we have assets added to change the look and feel of Sanctuary. Two, what we're going to run into going forward, excuse me, is more of that. And whenever you see that, that's instability. That is just instability and a crash waiting to happen. It's not okay. 100% not okay. What you're also going to see, and then this is the second thing I look for. Look at this tree. So right there, this is 100%. Someone didn't like the vanilla trees in Sanctuary. In my opinion, who gives a rat's ass? It's the apocalypse. The trees are done. And then so now you have two trees trying to live in the same space. The first tree, the vanilla tree, is clipping through the second tree. And it's just beyond me is like, what do we not understand here? This isn't okay. It, if anything, it doesn't look good and it breaks immersion right off the bat. Just leave it alone. If you can't put it in here without this happening, don't do it. Same here. This is not how the tree was supposed to be. This is the original, the vanilla here on the right, and then the newly added one by the mod here on the left. And they're trying to occupy the same space. Well, unfortunately, you see that? This is what you get. Now, what you also get as a result is look at the foundation. Look at my freaking floor. So, in my opinion, you've just effed up Sanctuary. And you've ruined my immersion and you ruined my gameplay at this point. So, this isn't an improvement. This isn't, like, oh man, this is awesome. No, it doesn't look good. This is not okay. Now, we can make an argument, well, maybe it's your machine. It could very well be. There is a minimum requirements for the machine, that to run this. And the minimum requirements are significantly less than what I already have, than what I have here. So, granted, I am only running it on a 3080, right? So it's not a 4080, it's a 3080, it's not a 5090 or whatever the latest one is. So yeah, that one I don't have that, but I am running it on a i9 12th generation processor, right, with 32 gigs of RAM. My page file is 40 gigs. So 40, well actually 40960, which is my page file. And so it is running on an SSD. So at this point, we can go down a whole list of all the see. Look at that. And what I'm gonna say is unsatisfactory. It's just completely unsat. So what I'm gonna end up doing, right now that I have it installed, is now I'm gonna have to go and try to get rid of some texture mods and some stupid shit that's fucking up my game, right? And try to hold on and keep to whatever the base, the core tenets of the mod list is in order to keep that going. But right now, Sanctuary is a bust. So, I mean, I got 3 rounds left for this gun. Here we're gonna jump. Oh, I can see him. He's gonna pop out at some point. Oh, he's afraid. There it is. Come on over here. Now, what is also annoying, why are they empty right now? Why is the game purposely making it so we can't have any foodstuffs? But you're going to call me out and make me and say I'm starving any minute now, yet not give me anything that I can possibly eat. So, you see that? There's our floor. Oh, wait, where did it go? There it is. It went down the whole rabbit hole of good intentions. Now, I gotta be honest with you, that milk carton there, It's not necessary. Absolutely 100% not necessary. It's like
Yes.
sometimes you wonder why add some of this stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It is, and it's probably just me. I question, am I alone? Right? Because I gotta ask you, what do you want? Do you want your game to work and play without all this clipping and disappearing of assets and everything like that? Or are you fine and 100% with this? You tell me, right? We just went through kind of a similar issue with Ash Lotus, the mod list Ash Lotus. And I asked if anybody has been able to get it to run, and I've gotten a couple of comments back, or at least one comment back. They said, yeah, they couldn't get it to run either. And to me, it's like, I don't understand. Why would you put together a mod list that nobody can get to run? And one of the things that I consistently say quite a bit is a lot of these mod lists, in my opinion, okay, I don't know for a fact, but I used to watch a guy. Did you see what just happened here? Yeah. And he one of his key things was he would just go through showing off different mod lists, right? Seeing how they're working out with and I'm like, okay, not bad, I'll watch some of his stuff, but unfortunately, it's like, okay, when you're seeing some of the stuff that they're showing that he would show off, it's like, okay, are the modders are the key people that are creating these lists doing the exact same thing? Just go in, see if it works. Because my big thing is a lot of these lists you're incapable of actually going through an entire playthrough. And it's like, has anybody, actually taken one of these lists and made it through an entire playthrough? So, because I think these lists, when they're put together, I don't think they're put together for to be used for an entire playthrough, or at least if they are, when they're once they're put together, no one has actually tested and said, okay, yeah, I can get through an entire playthrough with this, because I don't think I don't think he can. And we run into that quite often, right? Over and over again. You cannot go through an entire playthrough with these lists. And it's kind of unfortunate, because I think that should be one of the main criteria, is to take a look at the list and then say, okay, yeah, I've gotten it, I've worked it so that I went completely through start to finish with no issues. And I keep hitting the same button. God damn it. And I don't think anybody has done that. So, and then I honestly don't think that it's a possibility. I just want to see what this all looks like. All right. So first things first. Okay. So I don't think it's possible to play through these lists for an entire playthrough. Now, I admit there has been a couple of lists that have been just plain awesome, right? Just plain awesome so far. One list that I'm still relatively shocked by is for Skyrim is Telsera, right? And then I got to be honest, as much as I don't like the list, Dinoxatide was a very stable list for me. And then Fallout, the most stable list that I've played through, um, one being that I'm currently playing through is the Capital Commonwealth, which is surprising, but it's actually pretty stable so far. And the other one, which is unfortunate, and it's not wasn't 100% stable, but it's it's way more stable than this, was uh, the Parabellum list, and also the Dying Breath list isn't bad. It's got some issues, but it's easy to figure out what the issues are, and then get around those and kind of remove or tweak the list so that it will work. But the thing is, yeah, you do have to tweak it to get it to work. So
Sweet.
Dying Breath is, to me, a good list um, that allows you to do what you want to do. Capital Commonwealth, I recommend fully. Um, and then the thing I really like about Capital Commonwealth, it's a smaller list, right? So it's not huge. I think it's only like maybe somewhere between less than 100 gigabytes download. Don't 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 hold me to that, but I believe it's less than that. Telsera for sure is only 70 some odd gigabytes. So it's funny because really what it is these smaller lists are having, what did I try? Save? What's this? Wipe? Oh, was that all my things? Oh, I didn't realize. I thought I had well, see, there you go. I wasn't paying attention. I'm talking, and then I thought I had the typical 4 tries, and obviously I did not. So um so Dying Breath is a good list, as long as you're, like I said, as long as you can clean it up a little bit and figure out anything. All right, we only got one. Pistols. Look at all these daggone pistols. Wait, this the Takarov. Holy cow. Western revolver. All right. Oh, and it's got a little thing too. All right. That's helpful. Still nothing. See, look at this. And then my problem is sometimes with this, you have issues where the ground disappears like this, the road disappears like this, and then you fall into a spot, and then you have to use console commands to get back out of it because you can't jump out of it. You don't have a boost pack, so you're not going to need to boost yourself back out of it. So to me, it's like if it's, God damn it, what the frick is going on? All right. I don't can't say that that actually even looks good, but it may not let me craft because I'm in this some kind. Oh, okay, there it is. Let's say I can see if it didn't let me craft because I'm in this water, but oh, look, why would I ever want to make? Well, I guess I understand now because some of these soups. Nope, this one requires dirty water, but we don't have any mole rat meat. Um, Seasoned chicken broth. Yeah, only thing. Oh, look at this leather cat suit. Now I want to make one and see what it looks like. Yeah, not a fan of this suit for sure. All right. So, yeah, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board with this one. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm actually relatively extremely disappointed. I thought it was better than this, right? Cuz this is kind of a reboot, right? We're rebooting the series because um yes, I did have some issues and I had to reinstall the mod list, and I thought I had the save file still in my desktop, not desktop, but documents folder, right? In the Fallout 4 folder, but it's not either not using that folder or it has its own separate. And since this one's a new, basically considered a new version of it, new iteration, it doesn't, look and see those save files. See that? Oh, totally missed. Oh shoot, no vats either. Are we hitting them and they just? Seriously? Where's the safe? So somebody has to explain to me what has to happen. Do we have to talk to Cosworth before we can actually start getting supplies off, or just none of the None of the bugs here in Sanctuary are going to actually see. Look at that. Look at that. Is that absolutely ridiculous? The tearing that's happening is really very concerning. There's a what's the name there? It's just you can't see it. Hold on. Maybe there isn't, because I just walked through it. If it was there.
Got it.
All right. Now, here's another thing. True test. Where's our log? There it is. So you know what that means? Shall I do it again in case someone didn't catch what that means? All right, let's try it again. All right, there it is. So this is our way up onto the roof, over to that little duffel bag to get our stuff. Yeah, we're about. Oh, now, okay, wait. Let's do it again just in case maybe someone said, "Oh, you fell off." Straight. We're going straight. Hey, that's what the inside of the log looks like. We're not falling off. We're clipping right through it. Which means now we can't get up to the roof. Now we can't get to that duffel bag. So, yeah. Just like right now, where's the bushes? All right, so we got to be very accurate. How many times did I hit that thing? Don't say 0. Okay, hold on. Codsworth, thank you. You didn't set the whole place on fire, man. Codsworth just says, hey, you know what? I just come in here to save the day, and then I'm out. Really don't like these milk cartons. Oops.
Nice.
Where did Cosworth go? Oh, he went back. Look at that. He just came down, saved the day, and then then went right back to his post. What a boss. What a boss. All right. There we go. Interesting. Okay. Is trying to decide if. Okay. All right. We'll have to figure the rest of this out later. All right. Whoa. Okay. There we go. All right. So there. So what we're saying, there is a chance. I don't know what this is going to do for us. You need. Oh my goodness! Really? Okay. All right. It's good to know. Good to know. So 2 legendaries in order to improve. But then look at this. If we had the necessary stuff, we could add weaves to it. All right. That's good to know. Look at that. Now let me just check this. That is not good. That does not bode well. What this is telling me, do you see that? And then I forgot all about this. Okay. This, in my opinion, is not the stupidest mod to be put into this game, but it is one of them. Okay. The whole the whole power armor needing train, like some sort of training or something, so it doesn't work. That is the dumbest and most asinine mod ever added to this game. This is close, okay? I'm gonna point this out a couple of things, right? Because I can't remember if Sim Settlements is part of this mod list. If it is, this is counter to Sim Settlements. Two, it is also counter to the whole premise of tearing down and building back up your place. And three, and then here's the most important part, it is one of the reasons why we're having such instability in Sanctuary right now. When I remove this mod, Sanctuary will become significantly more stable with less clipping, less issues with things disappearing. So this mod itself, right here, is destroying my immersion and destroying Sanctuary. So it's there, but it's a piece of crap and it doesn't fit. Okay. So now, was there something other than the MCM menu that needed to be run in order to make this not crap all over Sanctuary? If so, let me know. Will I do it? No, because I'm going to take this out. Why? Because I'd rather scrap this house than repair it. That's just dumb to me. And then because the other reason is it doesn't give you a lot, right? The return is just not there. And then so I just rather scrap it, get all that I need so I can build up. So again, I don't know if Sim Settlements is part of this mod list. It may not be. But if it is, it's just makes no sense. But I'd rather not have this one. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Sim Settlements, and then see again, and then Sim Settlements for me, when it first came out, was cool and everything. You go down there, you find a box of ASAM, and then you bring them back and everything. Cool. And then when it's gotten to that point, the same with Hunter, the Hunter mods, the tedium is just tedious now, right? That guy comes up, he's talking to you, you got to talk to him. It's annoying. It literally is annoying at this point because how many times can you do it? It just becomes annoying. And that's where it's gotten. So it's like, I don't want Sim Settlements. And then so I usually avoid him until the very last minute until I have to put um, a beacon up so I can get some people. And sometimes I'll just say, screw it, go on to Concord, get those folks, and then bring them back and not have people until they come. Usually I like to have people there first, right? Already got the thing set up, got food, got water, got all that. Already have somebody on patrol, and then, but if I got to do what, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, so one of the first mods we're taking out is this one here. Which one is it? I cannot remember what it is. It's like a repair something repair, and yeah, right. Just as his namesake. So yeah, this I forgot all about that because it ruins Sanctuary. Because as soon as I take that out and possibly one other mod, and I'll let you know what mods I had to remove. But I think first thing I'll do is I'll take that one out, and then I'll look at my roads, and either I have to take them out or I have to add in a mod to make the roads more stable. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think as soon as I remove this, we're good to go. Now, the other thing too is, and then I have to double check, but usually I install a mod that's called Crazy Earl's Scrapyard, right? And I'll probably have to reinstall it if it's already installed because what I should have done And sadly, and this is what you learn is come down in here, you install your list, and then you get the game up and running, do the MCM menu stuff, right? If it has one. And then you add in your mods after that so that the script doesn't go in and destroy basically all that you're trying to add to the game. And then so I have to double check. I could have sworn I sat there and installed um, Crazy Earl Scrapyard. How do I know it's not there right now? Because this list would be a lot longer of things you scrap from this lamp. Okay, so that's my first telltale sign. When I walk over here and try to scrap this vehicle, right? This is not a bad list, but the list is longer for Crazy Earl Scrapyard. Okay, when I again here, this is just overriding the Crazy Earl Scrapyard stuff, right? This is taking precedence. So, but there's a huge long list, and when I trying to, scrap it, you see, it's telling me I'm peckish and parched, and then so there's like right here. I mean, I can do that, right? Just because I want to get rid of it, but yeah, Crazy Earl Scrapyard just gives you a whole lot more stuff. Now I'm going to show you something real quick here. I can't scrap this tree, but I can scrap the vanilla tree. Here's the vanilla tree, but I can't scrap that one. There's a vanilla tree in there. So to me, again, it's like stop fucking with my visuals and my stability, and just, if you want to, we can work on, to me, I think a good mod list is one that will affect gameplay, your characters, add quests and things like that. I don't need a whole lot of things to change what the weapons look like. If you want to make certain things look a certain way for, say, to make it more a certain type of period piece or something like that, within reason, it makes sense. But if you want to mess with the EMB and the lighting and the fog, okay. But here, this just doesn't make much sense to mess with too much because it's all the same, right? If whether it's lush apocalyptic or desolate apocalyptic, it's the same, right? Just leave it alone, because obviously whatever is going on here is destroying and interfering with the integrity and stability of the daggone game. So what's the what's the point? In this, I don't know. What's the point? When I repair the house, what is it going to give me? Besides something that's going to clip and, you know, have issues going forward. What am I getting? So for this right here, what is that giving me that it's okay to have this? You know what I mean? Hey guys, I'm back. Can I show you something? Yeah. So I stepped away and then I came back in, right? Yes. I took away the rebuild. Okay. Look at my roads. Look at my roads. What's different? Can Is there something different? You notice something different? Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. All right, let's get in here. Also, I had not installed Crazy Earl's Scrapyard, so that is a huge difference. Even though I'm still not seeing what I would normally see, but you can see here now we're getting more what I'm expecting. But you can see now I can scrap it, get rid of it, and then we can just build. You know what I mean? You know, granted, I can see how that mod works for someone who doesn't want to build, who doesn't like the system, the current, you know, system there. See, that's what Crazy Earl's scrapyard looks like. So, yeah, I fully understand, right? It's like, yeah, hey, to each his own. But my thing is this, okay? This here, don't screw around with the stability and performance of. I mean, Sanctuary. Here's what I'm, and here's the thing that I'm going to say about this. Right, Sanctuary isn't like the most resource intensive part of the game. It's your introductory part. If you're having issues here in Sanctuary, the game is only going to get worse, not better. And then here's the okay, so we come back over here. You notice I already got rid of the old vanilla trees. Right? So I did get rid of the trees. I decided screw it. I said F you. I don't want all that crap. So I took out all the tree, like I just saw a clump of tree mods, right? There were like 5 or 6. Then I just said screw them. I'm taking them, I'm getting rid of them too. I don't mind this desolate look here. Okay? This It looks post-apocalyptic still. You know what I mean? I don't know what all the overgrown grass and everything really is doing for you. It looks like everything's dying rather than everything being lush and green. It's dying. So, I mean, you could go either way with it, right? And I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong either way. What I do think you're wrong with is if the game was created with all that lushness, so that would be the original vanilla assets, then fine. Yeah, then that's the way it is. But that's not how this game was created. So I don't need I don't need that artificial change to make it more than what it was or more than what it is. Hold on one sec. Forgive me. I'm over here. My Sadly, my gaming system is next to my work system, right? And I'm off work, right? Been off work for a while now. But I hear some pinging because some of the people that I work with are out of the country, so their hours start at a different time. And when I ping and I look over, because my what's the name hasn't closed out yet, I see a question and I'm like, God dang it! And it's my off hours, and I'm like, well, do I leave it hanging until tomorrow, or do I just go ahead and answer their question, right? And it's like, God dang, because then you answer the one question and all of a sudden there's more. You're like, you sit there like, wait a minute, I've been done work for a couple hours now, and now all of a sudden I'm gonna have to come, go back in. It's like my day is done. Okay, I put my 8 9 hours in already. I don't need to keep putting in more. So, but you know, you, you see the You see the question pop up, and you can't just let it go, right? You can't let it sit there and say, "Well, I'll answer you tomorrow." It's just it is what it is when you have people on the other side of the world that are working now when you're done working. And then you try to get the crossover as close as possible, but it's not always that's the way it works out. And I made the mistake yesterday of answering, so now they think I work at this hour, right? So now it's like, well, I answered you yesterday, but now you're gonna find me not available. And then, since I am sitting here, because I work from home, so I'm sitting here in my basically home office that also is my gaming room, right? So it's like I hear the little ping and I go, oh God, it is what it is. So again, to me, so we're doing this, and so my thing is this, right? I am perfectly okay with how things look and are right here. I don't need the changing this look here, changing, and it's funny because I'm like, if you could see me, you could see me do like a circle in the air to show that I'm like basically including everything. Changing the look around here, you know, it does nothing. It doesn't, Ash Ash Lotus, what it did with the interiors was cool. It was cool, and you're like, okay, that's not bad, right? But you're also like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like, uh, for as far as an aesthetic, it's like, oh, that's pretty chill. But you know, when you come back, you say, did I need it to look different? Like that couch. Did I need that couch to look like that? Did I need the changes to the couch? Right? If not, what did it cost me to get that change? And that's the my whole point, every time. It's like you can't add in certain assets, right? Make certain changes without a cost. Usually a cost is stability, right? And when I say stability is you're going to end up with a game that has a lot of flickering assets that, you know, in and out, crashing, and, so the game isn't going to, play and be as stable as it would have been had you just left everything alone, right? Now, not to say that the game was all that stable in the first place, but, you know, right now, what are we doing? What are we looking at here? Right? When you do this, look at my floor. Has the floors disappeared on me once? Have they disappeared at any time yet? Have we lost the ground yet? So, and for me, that is extremely huge and significant because if we don't lose the ground and these things aren't clipping like they used to, right? Look at my floor. Now we're gonna come over here because this is where it all started. It all started right here. See, we did a kind of an end around with Codsworth, right? We just kind of beat feet around the side of. Look at that. Do you see what I'm talking about? So now let's look at the other thing that was happening. This was disappearing on us. See how stable it is and how it just doesn't disappear anymore. To me, that's huge. And the thing is, when you go in to a mod list and you're creating it and technically testing it after you're adding certain things to it, that's number one. That's the thing. How's it holding up? Do I have assets that just disappear in and out, that just appear in and out of view, right? Do I have trees clipping through each other? And then the next question after that is that acceptable? Is the clipping of the trees through one another acceptable? Was that my intent? Is that what I wanted to present to the user, right? When I hand this off to somebody and they download it, is that what I want them to see when they're playing? Do I want them to see the what's the name disappear? Now, if you notice, we're still having some issues because every time I don't know if that's a storm in the background or every time you see that, every time you see that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and scrap this. You see that lighting thing that just happens? So it kind of looks like it's lighting in the distance, but I don't think it is. I don't know, but that's just again something to keep an eye on because that is telling me that okay, this game is, you know, having some issues. Now, generally, I don't usually scrap this much, but the fact that I'm able to do it and then the fact that I can't scrap that one is kind of concerning. But so the fact that I'm able to just scrap as much as I am, boom. Let's get rid of this. Nice. Oops. All right. I'm not gonna try to scrap everything here. Like, why did this need to change? Why do we need a different color there? You know, because again, like I said, sometimes are we just changing things to change it without you know considering the what's going to happen as a result of the change we made. So a lot of times I'm just not a huge fan of certain things when like I said, a list just decides to do too much, right? The word I always use with my wife about certain things like that is gaudy, you know? And it's like she always gives me that look and I go, gaudy. That means, it's just too much. It's like, it's that whole thing about, like, do I need a golden toilet and crystal chandeliers in my house for me to think it's a nice house? That's gaudy. That's just too much, you know? And then same here. It's like, did I need to change the fabric on the couch to make it feel like it was more post-apocalyptic, you know? And then the sad part is I don't think the changes to the fabric on the couch were even that great. Like they don't look didn't make it look more like a 40s theme or anything to me, which is the theme that you think they're trying to get, with that Bethesda was going for. So we can get out of here. And so, yeah. I mean, but if you look at it, okay, we got to take this off. I'm sorry. That, it just, it, that suit sucks. It does. Okay. So we got to figure out, and then again, what's going to happen here is this: we are going to run into more and more stuff that we're going to have to go and take a look at and decide if it really needs to be here and what is the easiest or safest way to remove it. Because in truth, a lot of the things that are that we're running into just seem very unnecessary. And it just comes, okay, we're over encumbered. Longshoreman outfit. What's the name's gonna hit us up? As I live and breathe, I want to improve endurance.
I'm coming, sweetheart.
And then look, we got the T-49 helmet, which my question would be, when do we have T-49? Why didn't it show me this stuff before? God dang it. All right, screw it. Just take it all. Okay. So I thought Cosworth was going to come talk to us. As I live and breathe. So next time out, we'll talk to Cosworth. So until then, guys, again, don't, I mean, as much complaining as I did, I'm still enjoying the heck out of myself, right? And I'm so looking forward to what this could be once we remove some of the extra stuff that just, isn't necessary and then bogs down the whole, you know, game, right? And ruins, you know, our ability to actually for the game to stay stable. So there's got to be more that's got to be cut out. I know it because the closer we get down, like I said, the key is this is just the, you know, starting area, right? So wait till we get to the resource intensive areas where it's really they're going to need a lot of stuff. And that's where all the instability is really going to come to light and it's really going to be hard to play through. So that's where we're going to have to keep saying, okay, what can we cut out? What can we get rid of that's really messing up and causing us the instability there, right? Real quick here, we're going to test something. Um, let's get back over here. Holotapes. Let's. I reinstalled. Uh, and you see, so something in the configuration menu is dampening this. So what I would have to do is come in here and then go into the actual settings manager, right? And then this is more outside of what I know what to do, but obviously, you know, it means enough to me. So what I would want to do is you saw there were 6,000 settings. Okay? So what I'd want to do is come down and find possibly, again, hopefully, find the control for this and remove whatever it's doing. Okay. See, so I gotta. It's gonna take a bit, right? Because obviously there's a lot of stuff, and then so you can see right here, like there's 217 things listed under here. So I gotta go and look in here and pretty much look in all of them and see if I can find where where is it, right? Where is it at? And then remove the settings that they so and I think the key thing to look into is probably under anything with a lot of these things, right? So this one has 89, and then so yeah, this it's going to be searching through and finding um exactly where the change, because obviously something is changing. What's happening with um our what do you call it, cheat terminal. So something is changing it in there. So what we have to do is find where, and then that should allow us to be able to figure out, not figure out, but and really I could say if I don't find it here, I can just go back, get the what get the mod that adds that little toolkit, not toolkit, but that little dimensional box, and then carry that around with me, right? And as much as I don't want to do that, but then I can, and then walk back over to the vault and get that, and have that. So, because yeah, there's so much crap here, right? That's being altered, and the fact that you're messing with my cheat menu, not my cheat menu, my cheat terminal though, and it's like I said, is I only use it for two things, and then you and then you ruin the biggest one for me, which goes into play for all, goes back into play about, regarding my n- incessant need to hoard all the stuff, right? I cannot not do it. So I need it, right? I'm addicted. I'm addicted to loot, and yes, I will hoard. So you cannot take that away from me. And again, I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be, right? So you see this all listed here. That was the survival menu. Scourge has several. Look at this, like several. There's 2,400 things right here in this one alone for just Fallout 4, and it'll take it forever to open up. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit here through it. But now you can see, like sometimes with these mod lists and things like that, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of effort, and you have to applaud these guys for the effort that they put in. But like I said, you still have that one thing, right? Where stability, it has to work. Does Is there a list that will allow you to go through a complete 100% playthrough. And I have yet to come across it. I see tons of people with different lists. They play it for a while, but I've never seen anybody go from start all the way to finish with a list like that without having to modify and dumb it down in order to get the stability needed to keep the game going. So we're gonna we're gonna leave it here, guys. Once again, if you like the content here, leave a like, comment, man. Tell me, I would love to hear some of you guys tell me what lists you've been able to go start to finish, play 100% through, and I'm not saying 100% it. I'm saying start to finish, and without having to dumb it down. And what I mean by dumb it down is remove some things to gain back some stability, especially in when, every game, the later you get in the game, the less stable it is. So, and these lists, they don't help out. They don't help matters at all. All right. So let me know. And then remember, subscribe. That's the best way to make sure we get out there for more people to see and we helps build the channel. All right, guys, until next time, I am looking forward to keeping this going. I want it to go. I want to get a good list going. Capital Commonwealth is working out for us, so we will keep that one going. I will need to revisit Dying Breath and um, Parabellum. Parabellum is on my laptop, so and then you can't download that anymore. So it's kind of like, okay, so that one's a little bit weird. And I was doing a no commentary playthrough of it, but for some reason I feel like I want to start talking on it. So I don't know if that's gonna break it or break the flow for it. All right, man, guys, we will see you next time. Peace.